All right, so look here. They're saying the standard enthalpy of formation of N2O and NO are 28 and 90 kilojoule per mole respectively. The enthalpy change for the reaction 2N2O plus O2 gives 4NO is going to be what? Okay. So see, they've given you standard enthalpy of formation of N2O, NO, and you know that for oxygen it's going to be 0 because oxygen is already in its standard state. Okay, so that's going to be 0. You can find out the enthalpy change of the reaction. Okay, so let's get started. You have this reaction, you have 2N2O plus O2 gives you 4NO. This is your reaction. Okay, now they want you to find out enthalpy change of the reaction. You have standard heat of formation of N2O. You have standard heat of formation of NO, right? This is given to you as 28 kilojoules per mole, right? This is given to you as 90 kilojoule per mole. Yeah, so 90 kilojoule per mole. Fine. Sorted. Now you have to find out change in the you have to find out heat of reaction, right? Enthalpy of reaction basically. So how do you do this? Basically you'll get delta HR is equal to delta H formation of the products minus delta H formation of reactants. Okay, so what are your products? You have NO, but you have 4NO, right? So you write 4 into delta HF naught minus, see this is 0, so I'm going to straight up ignore it, and then you have N2O, so you have this as well, but I will write into 2 because you have 2 moles of this. This is for N2O, sorry, this is for NO, this is delta HF naught for N2O. Cool. Now this is nothing but 4 into 90 minus you have 2 into 28, right? 2 into 28. Now this is basically your delta HR is going to be 360 minus 28 into 2 is going to be 56. Correct? So you have 56 here, and this is going to be 304 kilojoules, right? So 304 kilojoules is going to be the enthalpy change for this given reaction, and that is being suggested by option D. So option D, 304, is going to be the right answer to this question. Okay, so here they're asking you to consider the following reaction and its equilibrium constant. So you have reaction N2O4 is in equilibrium with 2NO2, and you have both of them are in gaseous form. Great. You have Kc is equal to 5.85 into 10 to the power of minus 3 given to you. Fine. A reaction mixture at a particular time t contains concentration of NO2 is equal to 0.025 molar, concentration of N2O4 is equal to 0.033 molar. Calculate QC and determine the direction in which the reaction will proceed. Fine, and your options are given to you as such. Right. So let's see. What we have is concentration of NO2 is equal to 0.025 molar. Now this is nothing but 1 by 40 molar, right? And you have concentration of N2O4 as 0.033 molar, which is nothing but 1 by 30 molar. So your QC, which is nothing but concentration of NO2 square divided by concentration of N2O4, this is going to be 1 by 40 squared divided by 1 by 30. So you have 30 divided by 40 squared. Basically, let's calculate this. You have 30 divided by 40 squared, which is 3 by 16 into 10 by 100. So 10 to the power of minus 1. Okay, so what is going to be the value of 3 by 16? So 3 by 16, basically you can write it as 1 by 16 into 3, right? So what is 1 by 16? 1 by 16, again, if you have a if you're not able to come to the value directly and don't want to calculate, what you can do is, see, 1 by 4 is 0.25. Okay, divide this by 2, you get 1 by 8. So this will be 0.125. Divide this by 2 again, you'll get 1 by 16. So what is this going to be? This will be 0.0625. Okay. So this entire thing multiplied by 3 is going to give you 3 by 16. Right? So that's nothing but 0.1875. So you will have 0.1875 into 10 to the power of minus 1. Correct. Now let's write this in terms of 10 to the power of minus 3 because our original Kc is given to us as such. Okay. So when you do that, what will you get? You will get 18.75 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Yes, this is what you get. Okay, cool. So this is what we have. You have Qc is equal to 18.75 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Kc is given to you as 5.85 into 10 to the power of minus 3, which means Qc is greater than Kc. So Qc is greater than Kc. It means the reaction will have to shift in the backward direction to reach equilibrium, or your setup will have to move in the backward direction to reach equilibrium. So we got Qc is equal to 18.75 into 10 to the power of minus 3, and that is not visible in the options, right? So how about we write it as 1.875 into 10 to the power of minus 2, which is approximately equal to 1.9 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Yes, we have that here. So Qc is 1.8 into 10 to the power of minus 2, and the reaction will proceed in the backward direction. So option B is going to be the right answer to this question. So here you have, in the gaseous equilibrium, H2X2 gas plus heat is giving you 2HX gas. Okay, the formation of HX will be favored by what, right? So you can see that first of all, this is an endothermic reaction, right? You have heat on the reactant side, which means your H2X2 needs heat to become HX, right? So you have heat on the reactant side, so this is an endothermic reaction. So how do you support endothermic reactions? First thing you will do is you will increase the temperature. So you need a high temperature condition, which means you can ignore option C and option A because both of them are suggesting low temperature. So we can ignore both of them, right? Now, you need the reaction to move forward, right? You need the forward reaction to be more favorable, so we'll increase the temperature. What else can we do? You need to move the equilibrium in a direction which has higher number of gaseous moles. You can see your number of gaseous moles here is 2, here your number of gaseous moles is 1. So what does it mean? It means you need to move the reaction towards higher number of gaseous moles. So what will you have to do? You will have to reduce the pressure. So high temperature and low pressure conditions are going to be suitable here, so we can ignore option D. Option B is going to be the right answer to this question. Okay, here they're asking you to calculate the pH of 0.02 normal ammonium hydroxide having 2% dissociation. Okay, so they've given you alpha as 2%, so 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 is your alpha. Concentration is given to you as 0.02 normal. Fine, you have this much information given to you. You're required to find out the pH. Okay, so what do we know about NH4OH ammonium hydroxides? Ammonium hydroxide, okay, will dissociate to give you NH4 plus OH minus. Okay, this is the case in water, right? So we'll write aqueous. Okay, you have this, right? So now what do we know? We know that if we start with C moles of this, initially we'll have 0 and 0 moles of this at time t is equal to 0. At equilibrium, what happens? You will have C into 1 minus alpha moles of NH4OH. You'll have C alpha moles of NH4 plus and C alpha moles of OH minus. We need concentration of OH minus ions, right? So concentration of OH minus ions is going to be C alpha. C is given to you as 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 and alpha is given to you as 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2. So you have 4 into 10 to the power of minus 5, correct? We'll find out POH. Okay, so POH, what is POH? This is nothing but minus log 10 into minus 10th log of concentration of OH minus. Okay, so you have minus log 10 of OH minus is going to be, we will write it as this into 4 and you have minus log 10 of 10 to the power of minus 5. What did I use? Basically I used log of AB is equal to log A plus log B. Okay, this is what I have used. Fine. And then I've of course just used the distributive property and spread out the minus across the entire thing. Okay, so you have this. Now what is this going to look like? This is going to be, see, minus 2 log 10 of 2. Correct? What have I done? Basically, I've written 4 as 2 square, and once I write 4 as 2 square, I can basically see if 4 is equal to 2 square, then log 10 of 4 will become log 10 of 2 square, and I can write this as 2 log 10 of 2. How? Basically, if I have log 10 a to the power b, I can write it as b log 10 of a. That's what I have done here. So 2 log 10 of 2. Log 10 of 2 is nothing but 0.3. So 2 into 0.3 is going to be 0.6. So I'll write 0.6 here minus 0.6. And now you have log 10 of 10 to the power of minus 5. That's nothing but minus of minus 5, right? Minus of minus 5 is going to be plus 5. So this will be plus 5. So 5 minus 0.6 is going to be 4.4. We got POH. Okay. So we got POH is equal to 4.4. Now what do we know? We know that pH plus POH is equal to 14, which means pH is going to be 14 minus POH. 14 minus POH, correct? POH is 4.4, so this will be 9.6. pH of the given solution we found out will be 9.6. So option C, 9.6 is going to be the right answer to this question. So take a look at this question. Here they're saying match the ionization processes listed in column 1 with the changes observed as listed in column 2. Okay, so you can see your column 1 is talking about certain changes like N2 gives you N2 plus. Okay, O2 plus gives you O2 2 plus, such changes. And because of these changes, because of these chemical changes, what are the changes observed in your bond order and magnetic behavior? That is your paramagnetic and diamagnetic behavior. That is what the question is trying to get at. Okay. So that is what is mentioned even in the note that is specified here, and your options are A, B, C and D, where we have to make a match of respective options and then present it like this. Accordingly, we'll get one right answer. Okay, so let's start. First option that we have, option A, is N2 gives you N2 plus, right? So this is going to be A. N2 gives you N2 plus. Okay, so nitrogen has atomic number 7, which means in N2 we are dealing with 14 electrons. In N2 plus we are dealing with 14 minus 1, 13 electrons. Okay, so here what do we have? Here we have 14 electrons, which means the electronic configuration that we're going to write is also going to be for the orbitals that we arrange up to 14 electrons, right? So let's do it. So we have sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, then you have pi 2px, then you have pi 2py, and finally you have your sigma 2pz. Sorry, not x, you have your z here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we have 7 orbitals, we have 14 electrons. Definitely we can fit these here. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 6, 8, 10, 12 and 14. Okay, so here your bond order is going to be number of electrons in the bonding orbital, that is 10, minus number of electrons in the anti-bonding orbital, that is 4, divided by 2, which is 3, right? So here your bond order is 3, and this is a diamagnetic species. Okay, you can see that all electrons are paired. There is no unpaired electron. So N2 is a diamagnetic species. Now let's talk about N2 plus. So here remove 1 electron from the outermost shell. Okay, so what happens here? You will have 9 minus 4 divided by 2, which means what? Your bond order will come out to be 2.5. So here the bond order is changing to 2.5, and there's a change in magnetic behavior because now you have 1 unpaired electron in your in your sigma 2pz, and because of that here what you have is a paramagnetic species. Understood? Okay, so what is happening in the first chemical change? Bond order is reducing, okay, and there is a change in the magnetic property. So bond order decreases and magnetic property is changed, which means we're looking at S. So A goes with S. Cool, we've reached somewhere. this allows me to eliminate options C and D, right? So options C and D can be eliminated. Now it's between A and B. Let's see. My option B, or the second chemical change that I'm talking about, says O2 plus gives you O2 2 plus. Okay, so this is B. O2 plus gives you O2 2 plus, right? And here you are starting with oxygen. Oxygen has atomic number 8. So 8 2s are 16 minus 1. You have 15 electrons to begin with. And after the change, you have 14 electrons, right? So still we have to deal with the electronic configuration for more than 14 electrons, right? So let's write that down. We have sigma 1s. We have sigma star 1s. We have sigma 2s. We have sigma star 2s. Then what do we have? We have sigma 2pz. Then what do we have? We have pi 2px, which is equal to pi 2py, which is less than pi star 2px. And this is equal to your pi star 2py. Then of course you have your sigma star. We don't need it because we don't have so many electrons. So it's okay to write it only till here. So initially 15 electrons. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 12, 14, 15. Okay, you have 15 electrons here, and you can see that this is clearly a paramagnetic species. So you are starting off with a paramagnetic species. Let's quickly calculate the bond order here. Bond order is going to be number of electrons in the bonding molecular orbitals, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so you have 10 minus number of electrons in the anti-bonding molecular orbitals, that is 5 divided by 2. So this is 2.5. Okay. So in the O2 plus, your bond order is 2.5. Great. Now let's talk about O2 2 plus. What happens? You can kick out this electron, and then this will be 4 here. Okay. Because of that, the bond order becomes 3. Correct? Yeah. Cool. So here you will have a bond order of 3, and you can see that all the electrons present are diamagnetic are paired, which means your O2 2 plus is going to be diamagnetic in nature, right? So let's see, did the magnetic behavior change? Yes. What happened to the bond order? It increased. So bond order increased, and the magnetic properties changed, which means we're referring to option P. So B goes with option P. Oh, and too bad that didn't help us, narrow anything down, because options A and B both are mapping B to P. No problem, not an issue. We learned something out of it. Let's talk about option C. So option C says B2 gives you B2 plus. Okay. Right? So what is B? B is your boron. Okay, atomic number 5, number of electrons 10. So you have 10 electrons becoming 9 electrons, or roughly some transition like that. So the electronic configuration that I'm going to go with is this: sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s. Then you will have your pi 2px is equal to your pi 2py. You don't need to write any further. We're just dealing with 10 and 9 electrons, so this is fine. Now, for 10 electrons, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so first thing to note is that this is a paramagnetic species. What is the bond order? Bond order is going to be number of electrons in the bonding molecular orbitals, that is 2, 4, 6, 6 minus 4 divided by 2, which is nothing but 2 by 2, that is 1. So here your bond order is coming out to be equal to 1. What about B2 plus? So in case of B2 plus, you can kick one electron out from either pi 2px or pi 2py. Since they are degenerate orbitals, it does not matter. Okay, wherever, but only one, not both. Okay, so this is what you have, and here this changes. Okay, so now you have 5 minus 4 by 2, which is nothing but 1 by 2, 0.5. So this is going to be 0.5, and it is still going to be paramagnetic in nature. So what do we observe? Bond order decreases, but magnetic behavior is not changed. So bond order decreases and magnetic property is not changed, is here in option Q. So C is going to go with Q, which means I am going to be very happy and I'm going to eliminate option A. But we need to check what is up with, our option D, what is up with our change in D. and then we'll get back to the answer. We know already that answer is option B, but still let's complete it. So finally we have option D, which is saying here you have NO minus gives you NO. Correct? This is what we're dealing with. So initially you have 7 plus 8, 15 plus 1, 16 electrons, and finally with NO you have 15 electrons. Fine. So here what we have, the order of orbitals is going to be as such. You have sigma 1s, then you have sigma star 1s, then you have sigma 2s, then you have sigma star 2s, then what do you have? You have sigma 2p z, then you have pi 2px, pi 2py, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need one more orbital. And what else do we have? We have pi star 2px and we have pi star 2py. Okay, I'm going to pause it here. I'm not going to write anymore. We don't need any more than this. So initially we're dealing with 16 electrons. So what do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 and 16. Right? So we have 16 electrons here. And with 16 electrons, first thing you can observe is that this is going to be paramagnetic in nature due to the presence of unpaired electrons in your pi star 2px and pi star 2py. Okay, then what else? We have to find out the bond order. So bond order, when you see, I'm going to just do the calculations here. Okay, number of electrons in the bonding molecular orbitals, so you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So you have 10 minus number of electrons in the anti-bonding molecular orbitals. 10 minus 4 divided by 2. This is nothing but 2. So here your bond order is going to be 2. Similarly for NO, this will become 0. Okay, it is still paramagnetic. What else do we have? Here, instead of 4, this will become 3. So what you will get here is 2.5. Great. So what happened? Bond order increased, but magnetic behavior is still the same. Let's see. Bond order increases and magnetic property is not changed, which is here in option R. So D is going with R. We already knew this. We were just confirming. So option B is going to be the right answer to this question.